Hello everyone, my name is Shanika and welcome to today's practice. I am so glad that you decided to join me in a yin yoga sequence for your hips today. So before we begin, as always, if you are already a subscriber, you're already a supporter of my channel, thank you so much for returning. And if this is your first class with me or you are a new supporter, welcome, and always remembering to hit that like and subscribe button so that you are notified each and every time I upload a new video. And of course, leaving a comment so that I know how the class went for you. I always enjoy reading those comments. So getting into today's class, we are going to be doing a yin yoga sequence for your hips. It's going to be more intense. So we're only going to be doing 3 postures. And the thing about yin yoga is it doesn't matter. It's not about how many postures you're doing. It's about the length of time that you're in the posture where you're really going to reap the benefits. So if you're always doing yin yoga and you're always holding the poses for, let's say, 3 minutes, then your body is going to become accustomed to that. And then you're going to need to have to up the ante a little bit. So if you're really comfortable in a 3-minute posture, then like I said, this is your opportunity to see if you can take your threshold just a little bit further and maybe go for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. So that's what today's class is going to be all about. It is going to be a very releasing practice, a nice letting go practice. We're dealing with the hips, and you can really kind of use this as a check-in. So coming back to this class periodically to see how you're doing. And a good indicator to see if you really need this class is after 3 minutes, if you notice yourself getting a little bit angsty and fidgety, then you know that you need to spend just a little bit longer in a pose. They always say that the moment you think you need to get out of a posture is when it's starting to begin for you. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with our first posture, which is pigeon. You are going to need a block or a pillow if you decide to use them. So finding a tabletop position. From your tabletop position, taking your left foot to the outside of your left pinky. From here, you're going to shimmy your left foot and you're going to bring it behind your right wrist. And then go ahead and bring your left shin to the floor. So before we adjust anything, you always want to make sure that there's a nice long line between your big toe and your knee. So you don't want to be sickling the foot. It should be nice long line to protect the knee. So once you have this desired position for yourself, look over your right shoulder and make sure that your leg is actually behind you and it's really not out on a diagonal. And also, depending on the width of your hips is going to depend on how wide your back leg is going to be. So I'm fairly hippie, so you can see that my leg is closer to the side of my mat. And as always, if your left hip is not coming to the floor, you would then just snuggle a pillow underneath your bum. So inhaling, lift up through the chest. And exhale, bringing the forearms to the mat. Beginning to close the eyes or soften the gaze. And when you're ready, finding your comfort in this pose. Your back leg is nice and relaxed. Sometimes we have a tendency to engage the kneecap. Relaxing the jaw. Softening around the sockets of the eyes. Maybe you've settled comfortably in this pose and you can open your elbows a little wider. Also just noticing if you're favoring one hip. Usually the bent knee, we tend to lean to the left. Just notice if this is you. Noticing any areas that are beginning to open up for you. Maybe you bring your forehead to stacked palms, or you bring the forehead right down onto the mat. If you'd like to go a little bit further for these last few breaths, go ahead and tuck your right toes under, pick up your right knee, and just lengthen your right leg and untuck the toes. So really finding length here. Last few breaths. Let's take our last two breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Moving slower than you would like, lift the gaze, push into your palms, and from here we're going to go straight into our fire log position. So leaning your weight now onto your left hip, go ahead and just readjust, so making sure that your left shin is parallel to the top of your mat. You're then going to take your right leg and flex your right foot, bringing your right foot over the left knee. So your shins are stacking one on top of the other. Just face this way. Your shins are stacking one on top of the other, and as you can see, I have a pretty big gap between my knee and my foot, and that is where you can place your pillow, just so that your knee is not dangling in space if it's uncomfortable, or a block. Making sure that this foot is flexed, your right foot to protect the knee. So inhale, always lift the chest and imagine you're sticking out your bum. It increases the intensity of the stretch. Inhale and exhale, fold forward any amount. You can also bring your block in front of you and rest your forearms on blocks. Remembering always to find length. Thinking about taking nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage. So nice expansive breath. Remember when I first started my yin practice, I remember 2 minutes in this pose was like torture. So if maybe you're feeling a little bit discouraged, just know that it takes time. And mostly that the more you practice, the more enjoyable it becomes. So thinking about making any minor adjustments to allow yourself to go a little bit deeper. If you were using the blocks, maybe you bring your forearms to the floor. Last few breaths here. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. And exhale. Lift the gaze, push into the palms, walk yourself all the way back up. Just going to turn back this way. You're just going to lean to the side, uncross the foot from the knee, extend both legs out, and just come to lay on your back. You can extend the legs down the mat, just really enjoying all of those sensations in the body. Those micro sensations. Just taking it all in. So of course, we now have to do the other side. Let's go ahead and gently bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And very gently just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And when you're ready, you're rolling to one side and pushing yourself up. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So finding yourself back in that tabletop position, we're going to step the right foot outside of the right pinky this time. And you're going to shimmy your right foot behind your right wrist, bringing your right shin to the mat. So again, making sure there's a nice long line from your knee to your big toe. Go ahead, shimmy your left leg back, look over your left shoulder, and make sure your leg is actually behind you and not on a diagonal. So you can see there's a slight gap between my right hip and the floor. If that's you, go ahead and place a pillow. Inhale, find length. Really square off your hips. Inhale and exhale. Bring your forearms to the mat. Stack palm on palm and let the forehead rest. Everything below the waist is nice and soft. Maybe you might notice that this side feels tighter, or maybe it feels more open than the other side, which is completely normal. We're asymmetrical beings. Belly is soft. Really trying to relax the tongue here. We have a tendency to push the tongue towards the roof of the mouth or towards the back of the teeth. Maybe you walk your elbows out wider. Bring your forehead to the mat. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper for these last few breaths, tuck your left toes under, pick up your left knee, and just inchworm your foot closer to the back of your mat. So you're finding length in all directions. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. Push into the palms. Lift the gaze. And right away, we'll go into our fire log pose. So bringing the right shin parallel to the top of the mat. And this time you're going to bring the left leg, left foot. So you're going to stack the left foot over the right knee. Make sure that the left foot is flexed. Lift up through the chest and imagine you're sticking out your bum and come forward any amount. You should be feeling a nice stretch in the outer left hip. Into our last few breaths here. Nice, deep, expansive breaths. Let's take our last 2 breaths here. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. Opening the eyes, lifting the gaze. And walk your hands back up. Just lean back, uncross the left ankle from the right knee. Time for the best part. Go ahead and just come to lay all the way down onto your back. You can keep the knees bent if you'd like, or extend your legs out the length of your mat. We will be taking Shavasana straight from here. So trying to get out all those fidgets and avoiding the need to fix. And really just embrace and intake in all of those sensations pulsating through your lower half right now. Feeling those areas of tension just dissolving away. And when you feel those areas of tension melting away, you feel the opening occur. Really listening to those details of sensation. Let's take 2 clearing breaths here. Sometimes, especially after a hip class, there are still some pent-up things lingering. So let's just clear those. Nice big inhale. Bring the breath all up underneath the armpits. Open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. So feeling free to stay here for as long as you'd like. I hope you enjoy this short but deep yin yoga practice. And I look forward to seeing you back here next time for yet another yin yoga practice.